All right, and welcome back. So, in our previous videos, we covered the DeFi digital finance stack. We went over decentralized exchanges, decentralized stable coins, decentralized money markets, and now we're going to dive deeper into decentralized synthetics. So, what are synthetics? What are derivatives? Right. So basically, synthetic is a term given to financial instruments that are engineered to simulate other instruments while altering key characteristics. Often, synthetics will offer investors tailored cash flow patterns, maturities, risk profiles, and so on. Synthetics products are structured to suit the needs of the investors. So basically, crypto synthetic assets is similar to like financial engineering. And we can see that right here, this is the UMA protocol. They created a synthetic where you can buy a token that's basically long or short BTC. So that's a synthetic token of a long or short position. And with the centralized synthetic market opening up, there's a lot of different combinations possible. All right, so let's look a little bit deeper. So the synthetics or derivatives markets right now, today in the CeFi market is a $1.2 quadrillion market, which is huge. And synthetics are a complex financial instrument that have gotten the global economy in trouble many, many times because these synthetics products become very, very complex, intransparent, and you never know if you have bad eggs in your basket when you're dealing with some of these synthetic or financially engineered instruments, right? But let's take a look into the centralized financial market to see how big actually these the derivatives markets or the markets of all money markets are basically. So we can see that right here. This is a nice visualization where you see silver, cryptocurrencies, other markets right here, currencies, gold, stock markets, the global money supply, global debts, global real estate, and then here starts the derivatives market. As you see, it's a huge part of the financial market as we know it. So I think that also in decentralized synthetic markets or decentralized derivatives will play a huge role in making the decentralized ecosystem more mature. So let's take a deeper look at decentralized synthetics, right? So why do we need synthetic assets on a blockchain? Well, decentralized synthetics are tokens that track the price of something. By purchasing a synthetic, also known as derivatives, we can stimulate the funding in decentralized market. We can stimulate the liquidity creation, and we can stimulate market access, right? So that means that we have better funding models, we can increase liquidity models for different assets, and we can give better market access to investors or other market participants that are interested in buying or selling certain derivatives. But one big change, if you look at the traditional derivatives market, where you can see really complex products being created and a very intransparent way, where there is always like central elements where you're not sure what's going to happen or not sure how it works. In a decentralized synthetic market, we need to strive to zero trust product. As explained a couple of times before, in the decentralized market, we need to strive for an open financial market with zero trust as much as possible. And let's look at a decentralized synthetic exchange called Synthetics, and also at some crypto narrative derivative products that are specific to the crypto market, right? Okay, so if we look here at this article, we can see a couple of different use cases for like synthetic assets, synthetics on DeFi, right? So as discussed already before in previous videos, MakerDAO created a synthetic token called DAI. So basically what it does, it locks ETH in a position and it creates DAI. And DAI is basically a synthetic token created by the MakerDAO protocol by leveraging the power of collateralized debt positions. Also, we will go deeper into synthetics, which is basically a protocol where synths are locked and then different synthetics are created. But this could be similar be done for the MakerDAO protocol, which could also be able to create different synthetics, where synthetics takes a bit more of a agile approach and creates already a lot of different synthetic products. What are some crypto native derivatives that we can potentially create, right? So there's here, I will link this article in the description below. You can go over it by yourself. But let's take, for example, instead of using a derivative in the traditional market where we take a interest rate swaps, or where we have derivatives of certain money markets, we can now take the Bitcoin difficulty swaps, where we're going to bet on certain outcomes of the difficulty of the Bitcoin mining algorithm. That means that miners that bet on certain difficulty levels can actually hedge themselves if they buy a lot of material, etc., etc. So there's a lot of very interesting new financial products or financial instruments open up by using these derivatives products. And there's a lot of different derivatives products that we can enable crypto native. Lock drops, stability fee swaps, slashing penalty swaps, staking yield swap, electricity futures, hash power swaps, a lot of different interesting crypto native synthetics or derivatives we can derive already in the crypto market today. So let's look at one of these decentralized derivative exchanges called Synthetics. And Synthetics works as follows. Let's take a deeper look at how Synthetics works. Before we dive in, let's look at how this article describes it, right? So here you can see synthetics are locked, and then synthetic assets are created. And Synthetic is an issuance platform, collateral type, and exchange that allows users to mint a range of synthetic assets. Similar to Maker, users lock up collateral to create synthetic assets and need to repay their loan to reclaim the collateral. Users then are able to exchange one synthetic asset for another via an oracle. Note that there is no direct counterparty to the exchange. The user is effectively repricing the collateral per the oracle. This is because the pool to collateral mechanism, the sync stakers collectively take the counterparty risk for other users. So basically, if you're a synthetic user and you stake the asset, you have the counterparty risk of one asset or one failure that's happening in the system. It's very similar how MakerDAO works also currently. Okay, so let's open the exchange. We can see here that we need to either deposit SUSD or SBTC. So normally to enter the market, we need to use a SUSD market, right? So what we then need to do is that we need to buy USD Tether or DAI and exchange that for SUDTC, and then we can enter this exchange. And all the collateral in this exchange is backed by the Synthetics token. Well, this is an interesting dynamic, but in my opinion, you do not want like only the synthetic token backing up the collateral, right? So what they actually recently did, because they wanted to open up the market more, they wanted to attract more investors, they also have enabled Ethereum as a collateral type, and as we can see right here. So we need to connect our wallet, in this case our MetaMask wallet. Let's log in. There we go. I'm confirming that I trust this exchange. And if I give my collateral, my Ethereum as a collateral to the Synthetics exchange, I need to have a 150% collateral type. If I'm going to mint synthetic tokens, I need to have a 750% collateral type. They do that because the volatility in the Synthetics token is a little bit more uncertain than the volatility in the Ethereum ecosystem as of today. So I have connected my wallet. Let's see what's going on here. So as you can see right now, I log one ETH, 150% collateral with 0.66 ETH. There's also, similar to how Oasis works, Synthetic has a way to collateralize Ethereum for synthetic Ethereum. You can also here collateralize and mint SUSD. So if you put in SUSD and you then can, from your SUSD, can collateralize the synthetic tokens. Or if you want to, you can also here, so it explains it here better. Welcome to Minter. Minter is a dApp for Synthetics holders. If you never used Minter before, we just get quiet. So let's go over that together. So with Synthetics, you can basically, with Synthetic ETH, you have Synthetic USD, Synthetic BTC, Synthetics Maker, Synthetic Gold, Synthetics Euros, Synthetics BNB, and many more tokens. Synthetic stakers receive two kinds of rewards. Firstly, they receive the SNX staking rewards, which are created through the inflationary monetary policy. Secondary, there is synthetic exchange rewards, which is generated by the synthetic traders on the exchange. So this is a little bit similar of how the DAI lending and borrowing rate works, but where here the difference lies in that there is also an inflationary policy over the synthetic tokens itself. The collateralization ratio is around 750%, but right now actually 800%. It means there is not enough liquidity at this moment. And what are the risks? What are the risks for locking up your SNX tokens? The SNX stakers create a debt where they stake. Their debt begins as the amount of SUSD they inflated to mint and fluctuates according to gains or losses made by other synth holders. Anytime anyone holds synth that appreciates in value, that gains distributed potential between all the SNX holders' debt. A stake must pay off their debt before they can unlock the SNX staked. So basically what that means, you can get a debt by staking your SNX tokens, but the risk lies in the inflationary model. If you get under collateralized, you can be slashed and basically lose all your stake. If we go back to the presentation, in my view, the synthetic token model is a step in the good direction. But let's go back to the model, the quadrant of trust. I do see here a bearer trust model because the Synthetics Foundation can still issue as many tokens as they want. They happen on a trustless layer on Ethereum, but the synthetic token model, they can still issue more and more tokens if they please. So we can also see here there was a monetary policy change in the synthetic protocol itself. So the synthetic issuance protocol built on Ethereum with a value encoding asset called SNX, but the monetary policy of this underlying asset has been changed. So we need to be very careful to follow these changes in the markets. And I believe we still need to strive to a more decentralized and zero trust environment to create decentralized synthetics. And I believe that is coming in the future to the Ethereum or another blockchain. A good example that's now still under development is a project called TBTC. That's already a step in a better direction. You also have RepBTC, which is also interesting, but also still with a central legal trusted party. TBTC is already more in a trustless fashion. So decentralized synthetics could pose a big risk to the underlying protocol security in ways we cannot understand yet. So we need to really have our core mission straight: open finance and trust minimization. If we look in the bandwidth of Ethereum right now, where we can say that Ethereum, DAI, and Argo are kind of like trustless tokens in TBTC, we're going in a good direction. But when we're, as builders, start building, we really need to keep in our mind to keep building open financial system where the trust is as minimized as possible. So decentralized derivatives, very, very big topic to discuss, and still a lot of work needs to be done in this space from the volume perspective, but also from a technical perspective. And I hope we can discuss all these works together and then we can all dive deeper into the world of decentralized synthetics and together find a solution to make the decentralized ecosystem and decentralized synthetic markets more efficient than it is today.